4th win in a row for Team Gibbs. And joining us live from the action track, Nathan Epstein. And Nathan, a pretty tame race, but what a wild finish.
I guess you could call it boring to brilliant, Brian. Yeah, it was one heck of a finish, and for Carl Edwards, some mixed emotions because he knows his win really came at a price. 5 laps to go in Richmond. Kyle Busch with the lead, but there was just enough time for Carl Edwards to make his move.
It's like his tires went away or something. He really slowed way down in the middle of the corner. And so then it became really tough. You know, do I bump my teammate or just follow him across the start-finish line? So I bumped him, and we got the win. I definitely would have liked to have some more laps to work on him, but there just wasn't time.
Carl led the most laps with 151, but celebrated knowing he had to pass a teammate for the win.
You know, hopefully Kyle understands. I think he would have done the same thing to me. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
It's racing, I guess. You know, we had a really great car. We were fast. You know, maybe not as good as Carl was on the long runs, but we did everything right. We did everything we were supposed to do and put ourselves in the right position.
For team owner Joe Gibbs, it's a scenario he's always been afraid of.
We've been in races before where we wrecked each other, and so you have a real fear of that. I wished it hadn't happened. I think Carl wished it hadn't happened. It did, and so I think in this kind of racing it can happen. So now I think what we're going to have to do is just work our way through it.
It's tough to make those decisions in a race car, you know, how hard do you race somebody, but you know, we got to go for the wins, and I think it shows you just how hard we race each other as teammates. There's no when it's about winning the race, we go for the win.
So, Brian, you could tell by listening to Joe Gibbs, it almost sounded like they lost the race, interestingly enough. And for some historical significance, this is the first ever last lap pass in Richmond International Raceway history. We're going to have a lot more on it on Monday Thunder tomorrow on the Sports Wrap. Live from Victory Lane at Richmond International Raceway, Nathan Epstein, back to you.
All right, thank you, Nathan. Edwards and Kyle Busch 1 and 2. Jimmy Johnson was 3rd, followed by Casey Kane and Kevin Harvick. Gibbs teammates Denny Hamlin and Matt Kenseth were 6 and 7. Logano, Truex, and Kurt Busch round out the top 10. Next week, an Alabama getaway at Talladega Superspeedway.